on, you guys? I'm your host, Jennifer Tapiero.
And I am Danny Brasco.
This is Counter Watch. What are we doing? We're watching out for new products on the market. Back in the studio, we have Jeff Holman from the Q Unit. You guys know I'm a huge fan. It's the Q Cup, the Q Unit. It is an amazing product on the market right now with patented, safer, healthier technology, could we say?
We could say safer.
Safer, you guys. So safer. With everything that's been going out on, on the internet, everybody talking about vaping. I'm really excited to have Jeff back in the studio to discuss, what's been going on in the vaping world.
Yeah.
And, how we could just get your medicine in a safer way.
Well, thank you so much.
What's
Welcome,
going on,
Jeff. Yeah.
Thank you. Thrilled to be here again.
Yay,
Thank you so
we're
much.
so happy to have you.
I was here on the inaugural day, and again, happy to be back.
He was literally here from the beginning, the ground up of us building Sparkz.
And now he's here coming fresh off the THCX Investment Forum,
Which was
Yes,
fantastic.
Saw you last night.
Yeah,
That
we were
was
down
fun.
on the stock exchange together, all of us talking about
That was a lot of
the
fun.
major moves in the industry, and a big theme was safety and vaping, and how regulation in products like yours, which we're going to hear all about today, are going to usher in a new wave of healthy alternatives.
Definitely. What a cool time at the New York Stock Exchange.
Really awesome.
We had a chance to check out the Bell. You were there
That was
snapping
awesome.
photos. We were really close on. Of course, CNBC was shooting their show there. I was
closing
like,
bell.
wow, the closing bell. So that was a good time.
Yeah.
It was really great. THCX, that was great. The Cannabis Investment Forum. A lot of great panelists.
Lot.
We saw and heard a lot. So it looks like for 2020, the cannabis market and industry is going to get better. Would you say?
Certainly a lot bigger, and,
Mhm.
and I hope a lot better. The projections that we saw yesterday were, going exponentially over the next year, 3-year, 5-year projections, which is no surprise.
Right.
Because if we get federal legislation and people are able to go rec, essentially, then the sky's the limit.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
and especially in this space now that a lot more regulation is going to be the answer. I think that was a big theme, is that it's not the way to fight the black market and what's these crappy devices that people are getting sick off of is by introducing products that are regulated and safe. So with that being said, tell me why the Q Cup is the alternative for us.
Okay, so one of the major health issues that's happening now, and this is something that's been going on for quite a while actually, is the concept that, and it's the truth actually, that heavy metal toxins are coming off of these coils and they're being vaped into people's lungs during the vaping process. And that happens in a couple of different ways. Some of the latest studies are showing that a lot of the pods and pens, as their oil sits in the pod and is in contact with either a metal coil or the metal housing around the metal coil, the oil acts like a solvent and actually leaches out the heavy metals, and they become part of the oil. So then when you vape it, it goes into your lungs. In addition to that, during the vaping process itself, when these things get too hot, these metal coils, it's also giving off heavy metals. So now you've just exacerbated the situation because you put an oil in on day one, it hasn't leached much, if anything, out according to the studies. However, nobody gets to buy them and use them on day one. Okay, they get made, they get filled, they get shipped, they sit on shelves. By the time you as a consumer get it, it's probably 30, 60, 90 days, and it's had plenty of time for that process to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Conversely, enter the Q Cup. Our product is this tiny little quartz cup. And I'll show, this one's empty, but I'll show you one that's full, or half full, because that's all we fill it. And what we do is we put approximately, well, not we, but the folks that are filling these, put a 20th of a gram into this cup. Okay. If you're a dabber, and I know a lot of you are, if you put a 20th of a gram on a regular rig or metal coil, you're lucky to get one hit out of it.
Okay.
Okay. In our cup, in our patented coil, and I'll show you what's special about the coil, is cylindrical in nature. Okay, so Jen, you've seen this already. So what happens is, because it's cylindrical, we take our cup, we drop it in here, and then what happens? Oh, there's one in there. Sorry.
It's like a little Keurig pod.
It basically is. Yeah, Q cup, K cup.
There you
all,
go.
All due respect and trademark to Keurig.
Yeah.
But yes, this is the Q cup is like the K
It's
cup
adorable.
for dabbing.
I love it.
So, and thank you, I appreciate it.
So it's simple as popping one of those in there.
Pop, drop, and vape is what we say.
Pop, drop, and vape.
Pop it in, pop it out, drop it in, vape it, and do it again.
Uh-huh.
Okay. But what's special about this, and what I was talking about the health for a moment,
Yes.
is that when it's in this cylindrical coil, it's heating the cup 360 degrees around from underneath, and we put this little screw back on top, and then what happens is it heats it like a convection oven from the top.
So it actually never comes into contact with the heating mechanism.
Bingo. Give this man a booby prize.
Oh, look at that.
There you
You know
go.
a thing or two, yeah.
Get him a Cupid doll. Shows you how old I am. I'm a Coney Island guy. So, throw the ball, get a Cupid doll.
Bringing it back.
Something like that. So anyway, unlike the vape pens, sits in here, never touches the metal. And even when it goes in to get vaped, never touches the metal coil.
And
So
that's
huge-
the
huge
difference between
That's the difference.
the THC
major.
oil pens that we're seeing
Yeah.
versus actually vaping concentrate that doesn't touch the heating mechanism.
Exactly. Now,
Really clever.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Really clever.
That and another issue is what's going in here is concentrate, not oil.
Right.
So we had the tragic deaths that occurred, which the CDC finally came out and acknowledged was as a result of illicit black market products which contain vitamin E acetate. Okay, it's a cutting agent. And most of these oil pens have some sort of a cutting agent because if you take this, and this is just a pure concentrate, this is shatter, this is live rosin, it's not coming out. It's not an oil, it's a solid. In order to put it into a pen, they cut it with something.
Right.
Okay, whether it's a propylene glycol or vegetable glycerin or whatever agent they may use. Now, the consumer is getting pure stuff. They don't have to worry what it's cut with because it's not cut with anything.
Right.
So that's a secondary benefit, and especially when you're getting it. For example, you can buy these pre-filled in California from Moxie, which is a huge brand. I'm sure you know those guys because you're from out there.
No, I'm from New York.
So, I'm sorry. I thought you were.
New York. Jen is the California.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm
I thought
California.
so. You were just out there recently, though. 'Cause
No,
I
that's
overheard
Jen.
something.
That's Jen.
all Jen.
That's so funny.
So
I've
I'm
never
sorry.
been mistaken for the Californian. I'm New York through and through.
And I was shocked. I obviously misheard it because
Yeah,
you
yeah.
strike me as we know our.
We know our own.
And with a name like Danny Brasco, which is almost Donnie
Danny
Brasco.
Exactly.
Brasco.
And I figured you'd know
Donnie.
a thing or two being.
Donnie, come on. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
You're
That's
welcome.
really good.
The Brooklynites always get it.
That's
Donnie, come on.
I need that boat, Donnie. I need that boat.
I've been looking for a Pacino.
I'm working on it.
I've been
Lefty.
looking
I'm
for a
working on it.
Pacino.
Fire.
Well, yeah.
Anyway,
That's excellent.
So, and this thing, and by the way, there's
love
one
that
sitting in my
appreciation.
pocket. Thank you. So I just walk around with it all day long.
Yeah.
Now you see it, now you don't. I mean, it's easy.
It's so convenient.
It really is. Now
But why do you have two when
in
you're only one
fairness-
person?
Double
this,
fisting.
this one I just took out of the box to show you guys, which I should have done on camera. But
whatever
I'll,
excuse you
I'll
need to
re-
make is
I'll
fine with me.
recreate it. I'll recreate it.
Sure, Jeff.
That's the reason. Well, let's go with that, as they say on Big Bang Theory.
Well, that's
Let's
great.
go with that.
Yeah, and
So let's try it.
Okay.
I was gonna say let's have a little
okay,
preview.
Let's do that. So,
So let's try
like
it.
most batteries, click it 5 times.
Okay.
Turns on. gives
It's
you a little
beautiful,
Q-cup
by the way.
Logo.
Gorgeous.
And is it a new atomizer? Indeed, it is. Brand new out of the box. So you hit yes. Then what you do, you hit it.
What a great holiday stocking stuffer.
So we like it. Thank you. That's a great idea. So we recommend that you put this thing between 25 and 30 watts.
Okay.
Personally, I am a 27 and a half guy. It gives you a nice, cool vape. It's easy on the throat. Doesn't hurt. Not a lot of coughing, if any at all, depending on the person. Jen, you've tried it.
Sounds
You
like
like
such a great
coughing.
commercial.
He's like, I'm a
Exactly.
27. It's like
I-
sleep number.
That's
27 and a half
I'm a
for me.
27 and a half.
Yeah, I get
exactly.
My lumbar
That's
feels
funny.
great, honey. Yeah.
And there's more. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not that guy at all. I'm
I don't know,
not
that guy sells though. You know
he
what I mean?
sells, but I'm looking to.
But he's authentic. This guy's authentic.
I'm looking to bring you the truth.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's what
Let's
this
see if
is.
we found it.
So here we go. So I clicked it 3 times. It's going to go into a preheat mode. It preheats for 10 seconds. The reason for that, as opposed to a pen where you just pick it up and hit it, it's not cut with anything. You're going from a solid to a liquid to a vape. So after 10 seconds, it stops. You hold it for another 3, 4, 5 seconds. We like to call
Are
it
you still there,
15,
Danny?
15 seconds to blast off. In fact, go, babe.
I'm blasting off.
Hit it. Hit it. It's ready for you.
Take it away, babe.
Smooth, very smooth. And again, I'm the
Just
newbie. I'm the
just
guinea pig
another
here
couple of
because
seconds
I'm
to clear up, babe.
traditionally, not a
you're all there.
digital guy, as I say, but very smooth, not harsh. I guess I'm a 27 and a half
I
guy
guess you're
myself.
27 and a half.
I always said that about myself.
There you go.
You know, but that's really nice.
How does that? You got the
Jen-
second hit. It's a little warmer.
Jen took the
That's
Jen's
okay.
batting cleanup.
We're gonna give Jen an excuse here. Say it's a little warmer on the second
Cold
hit.
season.
Jen drove all the runners in.
There you go.
I got on base.
There you go. There you go.
No, it's
Baseball
cold season.
analogy in the
Yeah.
in the wake of the Yankees getting
That's what we talked
Garrett
about.
Cole,
There
baby.
you
So
go.
you're a big
So that's
sports
good.
guy as well. I understand.
yeah.
Not
Ooh,
only
golf and CBD.
an entrepreneur in the the vaping space, but also former boxing commentator we were talking about.
In a previous life, I did a little bit of that.
For radio?
Yeah, I did some work with WFAN back in the day, but this was in the boxing heyday the last boxing heyday. I like to say
The golden era
of Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield and Lennox Lewis. I mean, that's pretty much the time frame that I was involved.
That's absolutely incredible.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I did music for some of those events. I actually did the music for the Holyfield Foreman fight I was telling you about earlier.
That's the most epic thing I've ever heard.
It was a lot of fun. I sing something for you.
It's the
They
holidays.
did the music for Holyfield
Sing us a
Foreman.
Christmas Carol.
I want to hear that music.
A Christmas Carol.
A Christmas Carol.
My goodness, a cat.
Danny's been practicing his carols.
I'll have to write something for.
Well, we were going to go
for you.
caroling in the street and make CBD themed carols and sing people about the goodness and the wellness of
So sing it away.
What would be
3
appropriate?
packed Q units.
No, what would be appropriate for a weed?
4 pre-rolled
I
blunts.
got it. Okay, so I'm a bit of a Sinatra buff. I'm
Yes.
an Elvis guy. So appropriate. I hope I'm in voice. It's freezing outside, but I'll give it a shot. So appropriate for a wheat show. Fly me to the moon. Let me play among the stars.
Favorite of mine.
There you go. So,
Let
just a
me
taste.
see what
There you
spring
go. Take
is
it down.
like on Jupiter and Mars. Ooh,
Very good.
Very good.
All right, good
We might have to
stuff, good
collaborate.
stuff.
Jazz
Sound-
record coming soon.
sounds
Watch out
good
for
to
our
me.
mixtape.
Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me.
But so, how did you get from singing, boxing commentary, all the way into the marijuana
Yes.
CBD space?
It was an interesting journey. I grew up singing. I was in bands. I sang professionally. I started doing some songwriting. Again, did some work for FAN, some theme songs over there. And next thing you know, I got talking with some of the folks, and Jody Mack had me on the show several times.
Jody Mack,
I know
yeah.
Jody is still
Where's the Q
still
Cup
here.
jingle?
We haven't done that yet.
Come on, Jeff.
No, we haven't done that yet.
That's next.
Anne Ligori, I did a theme song for her back in the day.
Uh-huh.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. And so anyway, I did that. And when it didn't turn into a major recording contract, which is what I was looking for, I promised the family that I would return back and go to law school.
Wow,
And
like a good
that's
boy.
like a good boy, like a good son.
Boy. He
Nice
went to
boy.
law school.
So I went to law school in New York, and I went to Cardozo.
I have friends in Cardozo
part
now.
of Yeshiva University.
Yeshiva,
Yeah.
okay.
And that was a great experience. And I actually practiced law. I moved
I
out
had
to
no
Florida.
idea you were a nice Jewish boy.
Imagine that. Doing Pacino impressions. Joe Pesci, for Christ's sake. A nice Jewish boy doing those
Why,
kind of
amuse you?
impressions.
I amuse you like a clown.
What am I? Oh, I see. I don't want to curse. I can't curse. Oh, I
Wow,
can't.
that was good sense.
What am I here for your fucking amusement, Henry? What am I? I'm a clown. I'm here to amuse you. Anyway.
Oh man,
Thank you.
straight out of Goodfellas. I love it,
Imagine
man.
that, a nice Jewish boy
What?
from Brooklyn doing that kind of stuff.
You should be a voiceover
But
actor.
anyway, I did some voiceover back in the day also. But that was
He's so modest,
Guys,
yeah.
this is
a little
good.
bit. But anyway, decided after spending 4 years freezing my tail off at SUNY Binghamton, and then
Oh,
another
cool.
3 years.
I went to
back
Stony
here.
Brook.
There
SUNY
you go.
SUNY
Right down the
brother
road.
as well,
There
yeah.
you go, SUNY brothers.
Look at that.
And then coming back and spending 3 years going to law school in Manhattan, I decided I had had enough of the cold.
Yeah.
I had family down in South Florida, and I just kind of picked up and I moved
I don't
down
blame
there.
you.
And it's paradise. I love
And
it
from
down
law
there.
to business is a
So, from law to business.
probable transition. Yeah.
The way that it happened was I was sitting with a friend in his office, and a third friend showed up with an electronic cigarette. And this is going back to 2007. Okay, so there were none in the country at that time. And he walks in and he's got this long looking thing, looks like a filtered cigarette. And naturally, we mercilessly made fun of him. I don't expect you guys to get this reference. I'm older than you, but I started calling him John Barrymore. Where's your ascot? You know, and I understand. Again, I'm admittedly a generation ahead of you guys. So he looks at me and he takes a puff and he blows it towards me, and I instinctively kind of did one of these because I'm a non-smoker. And nothing, no smell. So I was like, "Oh, what is it? A toy?" He says, "Nah, bro." He says, "I've been getting my nicotine out of this thing for the last 3 weeks." I said, "Get the expletive out of it." Well, I can curse. Get the fuck out of it.
Get the expletive out of here.
That's what
I'm
I'm
gonna
used to
start
saying.
saying that.
Because
Yeah.
now you turn me loose a little bit.
It's kind of a good call,
I'm
yeah.
gonna let loose a little bit here, just a little.
Yeah.
So he says, no. He says, this was a guy who was smoking 2 to 3 packs a day. I was like, get the fuck out of here. So let me see that thing.
Yeah.
Within an hour, we had decided we were going to throw some money at it, and we were going to hire our own engineer. We had friends who had contacts in China. We were going to find out who was making this thing and try to shrink that ridiculous-looking cigarette from this down to something like this that would be acceptable in the U.S. market.
Uh-huh.
And 6 months later, we were either the first or second, I like to say the first, us and Enjoy, to hit the U.S. market in the beginning of 2008.
Wow. And I love how companies are formed like that. Literally, in the moment of trying the
Yeah.
product, it's one of these eureka moments where...
I was like, this could work here. And I come from a family, both my parents had smoked, so I grew up just hating it because I was a non-smoker.
Mhm.
I used to hide my mother's cigarettes and she would yell at me. So I it's just-
Wow, so this problem, and
This
this is
was-
the best entrepreneurs have these problems that are at the core of them.
Yeah.
Since childhood, you were trying to find ways to make alternatives to smoking from hiding your own mother's cigarettes. I kind of love that's a good origin story.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
That needs to be on the Q Cup bio
That's
page.
very funny. Honestly, what could be better than helping? And okay, I'm not supposed to say this because we were never approved as an FDA smoking cessation device. Okay, but the reality is when I looked at this thing, I was like, wait a second, you mean to tell me that I can help people stop literally killing themselves? We're up to 480,000 deaths a year in this country from smoking-related illness. Okay, literally help people get away from their cigarettes and make money. Count me in.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't
My whole
get better.
family smokes cigarettes, like on the holidays. It's like they're all outside and I'm like inside. I'm like,
Yeah, well, it's
This is what I never
that
understood.
big migration outside that always happens. Yeah. Having
that's
so
my-
much
Are you
That's my
enjoying
fun.
that? Yeah, it's a great cigarette.
That's
Very
my uncle.
enjoyable.
That's
I was
my
like,
uncle.
what are you doing?
What a relaxing
Oh my
moment.
husband.
Right,
say, "Oh, do
exactly.
that."
Right? Happy holidays. But anyway, so that's how that started. We wound up in the e-cig business for many years. I was fortunate enough to be approached by an inventors group out of Arizona, and they're called New Trade, and they came to us with a bunch of patents, a patent suite, none of which had been granted yet, but we had the vision when we looked at it to say, you know what, these are some pretty intelligent guys, and these are some really, really good concepts about trying to make e-cigarettes safer.
Mm-hmm.
And we've taken that technology and not only tried to use it for e-cigarettes, but now we're using it towards vaping, marijuana, and THC,
Right.
and CBD. I meant to say, I'm sorry, and that's how this thing was born.
And I imagine your law background, is having a tremendous
It helps.
help in getting these patents secured,
It,
correct?
it helps. I do not. I'm the CEO of the company. I'm the chairman of the board, but I do not act as the attorney by any
Sure,
means. I separate that completely. Having said that, I do speak their language.
Right. Oversight is
So
nice on
it's,
that front.
it helps. I had
How
no
many
patent
hits are
background. You'll get 8 to 10 hits out of it.
Out of one cup.
Out of one cup. So that's okay. So you know what? That's a great transition. Let's move away from me. And
It's an
let's
interesting
go to
cat.
that.
Yeah.
But thank you.
I got to delve deeper.
I appreciate it. I really do. But enough with my story. Because that's not as important. But yes.
Because I'm like, I want to vape it again.
Yeah, Jen's like, wait,
So, you can.
back to the
You
Q
ready?
unit, please.
Oh, if you're ready, I'll preheat.
I don't blame
Here
you. I
go.
think it was nice.
In less than 15 seconds, you'll be ready to go.
How can I steer them away from
Exactly.
All right,
Nicely
that? So
done,
I can
Jen.
actually
Very, very interesting law background.
Very,
So,
very nicely
your
done. So
vaping
how many hits can I
device.
get
The real
out of
reason,
Yeah.
the real reason you're here is for a smoke session, you guys. Let's be honest.
and here it is. You're ready. Go. Don't wait. There you go. You want another one, Danny?
Very nice. Yeah, it was pretty smooth
If
the
you're
first
ready, go
time.
ahead.
Yeah.
You can hit the
Nice,
button if you like.
relaxing CBD.
Hit the button for a second or two while you do it, and you'll get
The
a nice.
Q
You
unit.
get a nice hit out of
I
it.
saw you guys had like a nice little holiday special going on recently,
sir.
$59.99 or something.
Well, the unit. No, it's probably cheaper than that. The unit goes for $70, $69.95.
$70?
Yeah, it's on
Yeah,
Instagram. We got some hot.
It's probably the
some hot
cheapest one I've heard
deals.
so far, actually.
Yeah, and it's not because of a lack of quality.
Obviously
It's-
not.
We want to put these units in as many hands of consumers as possible, because for us as a business, the play is for us to have a disposable cup that people are just going to pop in, throw away, pop in, throw
Right.
away, pop in,
Right.
throw away, just like K cups. The reason this is so great for the consumer, though, is, and you just touched upon that when you asked me how many hits are in a cup.
Mhm.
So if you take a 20th of a gram, which is what's in one of these cups, and you vape it off of a big rig or a metal coil or any other unit, you're lucky to get one full hit out of it.
Right, you're gonna
Mhm.
lose.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I like to leave it like this, because otherwise the oil, once it becomes oil, it was concentrate, while it's in its liquid state, it can pour out of the cup.
Got it.
Don't want to do that.
I'm the rookie in the
So
game, so
that's it.
school me to the little,
That's what this is all about.
Tips
That's
and
why
the-
I'm
yeah.
here.
That's why we brought
That's
you here.
why I'm here. I just killed the mic. So anyway, you're lucky to get one hit out of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. As
It
I
saves
said,
you money.
it really does. So let's do the math real quick for all of our viewers out there. If you go and you buy a gram, just a gram of wax shatter, let's say in Cali.
Yeah,
okay.
it's like $60.
It's let's say buy a cheap one. Let's go cheaper.
Yeah,
Let's say 40 bucks.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, let's go 40.
Plus
simple,
tax.
simple math, $40.
Yeah.
Okay. you're getting maybe 10 hits out of that gram. Costs you about $4 a hit.
Right.
Okay. You buy a cup, a Moxie cup, for example, $10. You're getting 8 to 10 hits. You just went from $4 a hit down to $1, $1.25.
Yeah.
Huge value to the consumer.
This is a totally new way of thinking about
And again,
your value and efficiency of smoking. I've never thought of
in your pocket.
money to hit ratio, but when you have tech like this,
But
you
you
can
know
start
what?
thinking about how do I get the most
mean,
bang for my
It's
buck.
a big, big difference.
Yeah, especially with oil, because it's like it's all about. I feel like it's all about saving money when it comes to like shatter, resin.
Sure.
Like,
And
I'm a lot more like.
Well, yeah, you
It's
have to be. It's
expensive.
very
Yeah.
expensive. It's not a cheap recreational hobby, and it's
Right.
not a cheap medicinal way to treat yourself.
Right.
I mean, both of those are, frankly, they're expensive.
Mhm.
So if there's a technology out there,
This is good.
thanks so much, that'll help you, to get literally more bang for the buck. Why not do that?
Yeah, this is-
especially when the price point is there. I
Yeah.
mean, you look at comparable units to this, $150, $200, a Puffco Peak, which by the way you can drop our cups into, and they work.
Oh, really? They work.
They're not quite as efficient as that unit,
Uh-huh.
and they're not quite as portable, but they're great.
But they do work in another
They
device
work
already.
in the Puffco, in the Peak.
Excellent.
It's a great unit. But as I keep saying, I can't put a Puffco in my pocket.
I saw one girl.
As I
do
always
that.
say, yeah, I can't put a Puffco in my pocket. I like the alliterative nature
There
of
you
that.
go.
Yeah, that's going to be like your campaign. Yeah.
We had one I wanted from you before, but we won't go into that right now.
What
But
the-
it's great that-
Puffco in my pocket is similar to something you said earlier off
Oh, yeah.
camera, but we won't go there.
Well, you're a theme songwriter.
there
You
you
got
go.
slogans going through your head all day.
There
I
you go,
imagine, yeah.
exactly. No,
Choking
but the
on a
truth
joint.
is something like that.
They were making
Um,
fun of me because I said I wanted to choke on a joint.
And it's back on camera.
And kudos to you
The
for getting
soundbite
that.
has been
Wow,
extracted.
that's fantastic.
'Cause I
Let's
keep
not
it
lose that.
real.
Jen,
Yeah, make sure
Jen
to-
likes to choke on a joint. You heard it here
The
first.
sizzle reel going back
Every-
there. Yeah.
Okay,
Everybody, we're just saying things here to go viral.
there you go.
All
There
right.
My
you go.
creative director made me say it.
Okay, well, whatever it takes.
You
Right?
got to, yeah,
He's
you
like,
got to air
"Whatever
out
it
your
takes to go
problems.
viral." He's like writing my jokes now.
There you go.
Jen, say this.
Now I'm gonna.
But what's that big cue card that you hold? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Roll it.
I don't read off of the cue cards.
Yeah.
I never like to be on air like that. That's what you wanted me to say? Are you kidding me? What the hell is wrong with you, Henry?
Everyone
Anyway.
knows to air out their problems with their producers on air, too, especially
of
broadcast
course,
professionals.
of course.
Entertaining stuff.
Well,
so.
it's entertaining. Howard Stern's the best of all time
Exactly.
with Baba Booey. But anyway, what I was getting
Oh, yeah,
to
save
here.
Jen now.
I
We'll
was
steer her
actually
away back
actually
from
I was
the,
once on Howard Stern, guys.
Was you really?
Yeah, I was featured.
Do tell.
Doing what?
Interviewing Ronnie the limo driver.
Really?
Oh.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's
Jen-
cool.
Jen's been
Inside
some
or
places.
outside of the strip club?
I was outside of a red carpet UFC event.
I'm joking. Really?
yeah, yeah.
Big
I figured
UFC.
you guys
I'm a
would
big
like,
UFC
you
fan.
guys
I
like
covered
this
that also for
And
a
UFC.
while. Yeah, I did. My brother-in-law had a show on Fox Sports.
That's sick.
and
There is a beauty
yeah,
of seeing two guys
for a
knock each
long
other
time.
out.
Yeah, I'm a big UFC fan. I train personally. I train mixed martial arts on and off for like 35 years.
Really?
So yeah, so I love it. My kids train in
There's
it.
a lot of
and-
CBD in the UFC world now. All these
Mm,
UFC fighters have been
Good.
using CBD.
Nate Diaz is a
products,
big
yeah.
one.
Yep.
Nate
Well,
Diaz,
even bigger than that. How about a MLB? Say
They-
they're not going to test for marijuana
That's
anymore.
right. And I'm a
That's
That was
huge.
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 Yeah,
I'm a huge
minor
boxing
league
fan,
and
huge
major
UFC
league.
fan, but MLB, I mean, baseball, I'm
That's
America's pastime right there. That's my sport.
That's
The fact that the minor leagues are no
unbelievable.
longer testing for that is the first step in actually, I think, accepting it and
Unbelievable.
destigmatizing the nature of how players use it to recover.
It's great.
I don't know why I just
It's
thought
really
of like
big.
Yeah.
Alex Rodriguez like pitching this in Shark Tank. Like,
I could see it too because
For
he
the
was in that whole
moment.
HGH
That's
scandal.
funny.
Maybe he rubbed some CBD and he can get
Yeah.
back off his,
it was
his
he was the
torn
pitch.
whatever hamstring he had
You know who the most
instead of taking banned substances.
who the most miserable guy in the world is going to be is when the NFL says it's okay for THC is going to be Ricky Williams. If you
Oh,
remember,
Ricky Williams,
Running
Dolphins
back.
running back.
running back for the Dolphins.
Notorious marijuana enthusiast, and he got suspended time and time again and refused to put
He quit.
the spliff down.
Yeah.
And he quit the NFL
Yeah.
because they were messing with him so much.
In the
that-
prime of his career.
and he was an excellent
He
running
was
back.
one of the best.
Excellent.
So imagine that. This poor bastard is going winds up having to quit the NFL
Yeah.
because he preferred his weed. And now eventually it looks like
Yeah, they
if
may
the MLB
legalize it.
did it, the NFL's probably not far behind.
Right,
would be
right.
my-
I
would be my
imagine
guess.
it's a little more. I think Roger Goodell will have a tighter stranglehold on change in that variety
Yeah.
than Rob Manfred, the commissioner of the MLB, would be,
Yeah.
or maybe some other sport, Adam Silver, perhaps
Mhm.
even.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of players still, like Josh Gordon, the NFL wide receiver, who's he's suspended indefinitely for the year because he also refuses to not use weed and marijuana as a lifestyle choice for his health issues and recreationally too.
Right.
It goes on.
Yeah, and there's a lot of reputable people that are actually behind the use as a recovery agent. I had the good fortune of meeting in the last 6 months or so, Curtis Martin again.
My favorite Martian. Curtis Martin, Jets running back,
one of the
New
best
York
of all
New York
time.
player.
Love it. Such a nice. I mean, one of the nicest guys you're ever going to meet in your life.
Yeah.
And I had the good fortune of getting together with him again, and he is now peripherally involved in the marijuana industry, and he's a great proponent of getting the NFL to allow it as a recovery measure for their players.
Recovery, like brain injuries,
Sure.
concussions.
That's a big
Well, it's
one.
better than opioids.
Right.
I think I'm sure we're all in
stick them in the
agreement, but
locker
most
room, give
people
them some more
are.
painkillers. That's going to help them get
Right. Get them
better.
hooked on OxyContin.
Right.
Great
And
idea.
That's been the biggest one is proponents that have had brain damage for
Sure.
brain inflammation. It actually has helped lessen the swelling from CTE, from this like chronic brain trauma that these guys are
Well,
suffering.
the CBD, the THC, it's all anti-inflammatory.
And yeah, guys
Yeah,
that
a
take
lot
the
of
biggest
wrestlers
punishment.
need it.
Yeah, exactly. People that take the most punishment, the running backs, the wrestlers,
Sure.
the guys who are
Brutal.
getting basically into car crashes in their sport,
Yeah,
are
that's right.
asking, can we just please try this new alternative to see if it's something that can help
It's a
my
plant.
Rob Gronkowski,
Yeah.
he's doing big CBD things now. He
Sure.
saw this guy almost crying. Could you ever imagine the day you'd see Gronk cry? And he was
No.
crying, talking about how the NFL was miserable for him, and now CBD is changing his
Changing
life.
his
So,
life.
Do you guys want to smell
It's
some
massive.
CBD flower?
yeah, let's
Sure.
see some more
Yeah.
products.
Sure.
So here, open this up.
Yeah, right. Big strong
really
man.
child
Big
proof.
strong man. If I can't do it, it's
I was
gonna
gonna
be
say, don't
embarrassing.
pass it to me.
Yeah, right.
So I figured
This
we
will
could
be
do like
a
a
whole.
Bring it-
This will be a whole bit we do.
Bring in the
Yeah.
producer.
Yeah, right.
Make him do it.
Garcon. Yeah. We get the pepper shaker.
No, I smell it from here. It's delicious.
Yeah,
Moving right along.
Okay, yeah. Save me the
So we're
masculinity.
gonna have a blunt
shame.
roll.
I probably couldn't do it either.
Jeff, you roll blunts?
What's going on?
I don't. I was never a flower guy.
Since you're not a flower guy,
Singer, songwriter, impersonator, voice was too important to me to
So I'm gonna put you
to
to
be
the
a
test. And I
flower
want
guy.
you to
But
roll
you
a
can. Oh my God, I have no
The
clue.
CBD one? Oh,
I
there
have
we go.
no-
Yeah, we're gonna
I have
have you
no
roll
clue
some
how to do
Electro
CBD
that.
tush.
Oh, this is gonna be embarrassing, but I'll roll with
All
it.
right, here you go.
I'll roll with
my
it.
Goodness.
There's the
No
utensils.
pun intended. I'll roll with it. All right, I'm gonna
Alright,
break
there's
up.
a
This
hemp-
is great. We should make
A
all our
hand
guests
wrap?
do this.
God.
And then kind of take a
Challenges.
before and after picture. Yeah.
Dude, this is
We
embarrassing.
can do a joint
I mean,
lineup.
how hard
Do a
could it
joint
be?
lineup and see
Electric
everyone's
push,
joint
CBD
All right,
representation.
how
of
hard
them.
could this be?
Thank you, Chris.
What was that?
Roll up my sleeves. Put my
Check it
Q
out.
unit.
This is hemp flower, you guys.
So can you actually do you think if the kind of like the Coke and Pepsi test, do you think if someone put hemp flower, CBD flower, and THC marijuana flower right in front of you, would you be able to distinguish between the two?
Not at all.
That's why I was asking you earlier, how
No.
could a police officer do that?
There,
We were talking about someone got
yeah.
arrested for hemp,
Right.
there are
for
tests.
having ounces of hemp, and he
Yeah, there are tests out there now
So there's your blunt.
that they're trying. Yeah, like I have any idea.
Make it fat. Let's go.
Make it fat yet.
She said, "Make it fat."
Make it fat
Let's
yet.
go.
It's not enough that I figure out a way to do this. Isn't there a
Minutes on the
grinding
clock.
process?
Yeah, he needs a grinder.
I mean, I know I don't know
Our
much.
song?
I don't know much, but we sell grinders in our vape stores, so I know that there's something. Do I just break this apart? And
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
break
gonna
it
put
up.
him to work
that's
right now.
that's what I'm doing here.
That's what my friends
Seriously?
call doing that honest work.
Honest
like-
work. Is that what it is?
It's the manual
Oh,
labor.
I'm just going to do the worst job in history on this. This is embarrassing.
but
Am I close? Is this how small it should be? Is this too big?
I
Or
trust whatever process you're
oh,
going through.
please.
Okay, so he's
You
about
can't
to roll a
trust
blunt
this.
of the Sea Phoenix.
You can trust me in a lot of ways, but this ain't one of them.
No, what did you teach him?
Oh my God.
Danny,
I'm no valid teacher.
You guys, anybody know how to do this? Can I get a little
I'm,
bit of?
I'm certainly.
Can I get roll? Can I get rolling a
here.
blood for dummies? What?
They make that book. I'm
Jesus, Henry, where's the goddamn book?
Sure. His Joe Pesci's so good.
My God. Hoo-ha! Let's see how we
So
do
it's just
this.
so funny how he's like rocking the vape, but he doesn't know how to roll an old school
No
joint.
clue. I
This is
told
like
you
the
this, is
It's
not,
gone-
it's
this was
gone
not my
digital now.
gig.
This is what we call analog
That can't be enough.
versus
Pass me the
digital.
Q unit, Danny.
Analog and
Nebraska.
digital. Yeah. Back to the
Exactly.
digital.
Go back to something
We're in the
better for
digital
God's
era.
sake.
While you
Which
do
one
that,
is it?
while
Let me
you
see
do
which one
that,
has it.
I'll enjoy the Q
Here, it's
unit.
this
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
This is just really for me to distract him.
Of
so I can
course.
smoke the Q unit.
All right. It's
He's
preheated
like, yeah,
for you
here.
again.
Roll this
Let
up
it
for the next, I don't know,
preheat. Yeah,
few
exactly.
hours,
Let's spend 20
By the
minutes.
way, can I see your device?
We got a
again?
lot of time to kill.
Cheap.
So yeah, exactly.
That's like what Snoop Dogg does.
Am I close here?
Yeah.
Huh, really?
Jeff could use Snoop Dogg right now. Snoop Dogg hired a
Oh, where's Snoop when he-
personal blunt roller. He pays him like
Yeah.
$50K a year.
I
Dude,
want that job.
Walk
Dude,
around and
where's
roll up
Snoop
one.
when I need him? Snoop, bail a
Snoop
brother
Dogg.
out. Jesus.
Bring your green hat.
Do something.
Nothing's coming out of here.
Old school. Did you hit? Okay.
Did you?
Re-educate the consumer, please.
So I preheated it. Did you hold it after that for another 5 seconds? Or
No.
You just hit it. Of course.
Preheat it.
not.
Preheat it
No,
at
no.
350, and throw the turkey in.
Nothing's coming out. Listen to you.
Sometimes you need a technician.
Something coming out now?
There's
Finally.
IT.
And by the
Can
way,
that be a new profession
And
in
by
the
the
marijuana
way-
industry? Is I do IT now because everything's gone digital. I'm just someone who walks around and makes sure you can hit your device properly.
and by the way,
Roll
how
some
like
is
Geek
blood,
Squad.
Danny.
It's like-
Roll
so-
some blood.
Not
so
a
Jen? I got to
chance.
ask you a question. So how
Yeah.
was that 5th hit?
No.
Fifth hit is.
Here, Chris. Yeah.
I'll roll it off air.
Off air.
All right, this is as much as I'm doing. This is not going to be a fat blunt.
All right, we'll
You
see.
gotta get a little bit more in there.
Do I really?
All right, Chris is gonna roll
Dude,
from
I'm
the
gonna-
back.
The
So somebody
producers-
ordering in dinner?
All the producers.
Roll the
And
whole thing out. You can't have it.
I think
Yeah,
the
but-
production crew's the most
Can you turn the
qualified to do
cameras
all
around
this
on the
too.
producer rolling a blunt in the studio?
No face.
Garcon.
No picture, please.
Well, I got to break into my Tony,
No face, no
my
face.
Tony Montana now.
I want to see how good of a blunt he rolls.
Okay, everybody. Say goodnight to the bad guy.
Seriously, I love this Q unit. It's awesome.
Too fucked up, Mel.
Awesome.
I'll go too far, Tony. I'm not, Mel.
He's got the lip too. I'm not, man.
You can't shoot a you can't shoot a cop. Whoever said you was one. Why don't you try to handle yourself 2 tickets first class to the resurrection? Fuck you.
Oh my god.
Okay,
I think
we're
you
having
could
a little
do
bit of fun.
Pacino in all Serpico next. You could do Pacino through all his roles
Oh
and
my
eras.
goodness.
Oh,
This has
man.
got to
You're
be
gonna be an
enough. Is
actor.
this still
Why are
not-
you-
is this
Yeah,
still
Why
not
are you
enough?
the CEO of the Q unit when you
Oh
should be like
my
famous?
Goodness.
Yeah, you're really
Oh
jack of
my
all trades.
Goodness.
God,
This is just for
give
fun.
this guy a TV
This is
show.
just for fun.
You just do
the
this vape
impressions
shit
are-
for fun.
No, the impressions are for fun.
The vape is for
The vape is to make the world a better place.
right.
You
Healthier
mean
choices.
You mean a
I mean, I can
higher
make
place,
I can make you laugh. That too.
a higher path.
All right, are we still not enough? There's my expert over here behind the camera.
Yeah.
All right, so is it enough?
Still
He's
not
gonna have to
enough?
do like,
In a minute, I'm going to ask you for a pair of scissors so I can cut this damn thing in half, and then
He's
just
gonna have to do the fast
roll
forward effect.
a short
What is
fatty.
his
Is
name?
that
Does
is
it
that
smell
a
so
thing?
good or what?
Time
Is there a
lapse.
shorty? Is that something? I'm going to get freaking
Is there a
arrested.
shorty?
I'm going to get arrested
Something?
tomorrow trying to fly home because the dogs are going to come running up because this shit is under my fingernails.
It's hemp
It's
flower.
hemp, sir, officer, right?
It's
That's what I was
legal.
asking. Yeah, they won't be able to distinguish.
Crying out
And there you go.
loud.
Now I'm all of a sudden I'm in the can for a
Crying
bunch
out
of
Okay, so
CBD.
does it-
For crying
Danny,
out loud.
And Jeff, does it look like actual real like THC flower?
I couldn't tell the difference.
To me,
at
it
all,
looks
yeah.
and smells the same.
That's not.
But
Oh,
I'm
you know
not a
what?
flower expert,
and you know
so I
what's
couldn't
gonna-
tell, but maybe others could. I don't think
This
so,
is
though.
hemp flower.
Dude, that's it. I'm done.
Well, you know what's going to happen.
I'm done.
You know what's going to happen
I have
now?
no idea how to
High
roll.
schools all over the world, drug dealers are going to take advantage of 14-year-olds trying to buy actual THC flower, and they're going to sell them hemp and be like, "What? You're just not buying higher. You need to buy the higher quality." They're going to sell them more
Hemp
of it
flower joints.
for higher prices. This is a good way for them to trick
Okay,
kids.
let's be clear about this.
So the
I
education we're gonna
take
need to-
no joy in rolling this CBD joint.
But you're
This was-
doing
this
this for
was-
a grand
this is
prize.
Chris Who did this one?
I'm doing it for you,
Who did this?
but I have
Christmas?
no. And
One of
so
That's,
right now I'm going back to my Cheech
this
and
is
Chong
actual
movie
real
days.
company.
Do I lick the end of it to seal it?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah,
how that
exactly,
works?
exactly.
Okay. Thank you, Cheech
Hemp
and
buns.
Chong.
Grab y'all Dutches and y'all White Owls and y'all Phillies.
Thank you, Cheech and Chong. We should just be the Cheech and Chong show.
I think they have that.
Oh, this is so not sticking. This is so not sticking. How do you do this?
I think those guys did it first.
How
Damn it. Again.
do you,
Oh my god, look at him rolling a blunt.
dude?
It's gonna.
Dude, I told you this was a bad idea.
Danny, finish it.
Nah.
Hey, Chris.
I know what I know, and I know what I don't know. You just saw what I don't know.
Chris.
It's kind of like the show Hot Ones, where they try different hot sauces and wings. This is just, can you roll a blunt?
And the answer
And you
is
should-
no.
And you should be.
Put the big X up
So
there.
this
Jen,
is how you
yeah, Jen.
properly do it.
Jen,
Okay.
put us on game.
So when you're in the car of the passenger seat, your friend's driving,
In the passengers, right?
And
Wind blowing.
With the
yeah.
window open.
and your friend's
Ugh.
like, "Yo, roll this shit up."
Ugh.
This is how you do it.
That's when Jeff busts out the Q cup, and he's like, "I'm good
Oh,
off
for
that."
God's sake! This, I mean,
Right.
please.
Yeah.
Oh, this.
So
I
the
mean,
point
come
is,
on.
it's a lot easier to vape on the go than
I guess
roll
so.
this stuff.
Point
and get
made.
your
So
CBD.
what did it take me? 20 seconds to put a cup in here,
And
Yeah.
exactly.
and 15
It took
seconds
you-
to heat it up.
And,
And what's the time index on this? What do I got? About 9 minutes and 42 seconds trying to roll that thing.
What's the time index?
Jeez.
This is a
Louise.
great side-by-side video. You should do a P2P, frame, and put that as a testimonial on your site. Like, which is a better process?
Hit number 6.
Yeah, right.
Still delicious.
Roll number 0. But hey,
But to each his own.
To each their own is
Exactly.
where I was
To
headed.
each his own.
Exactly.
And I'm sure that folks that are actually hitting their flower like that have a grinder and don't sit here like I just did.
Right. Did the honest
or they know
labor.
what they're doing, which I do not.
Combo of this.
I mean, I actually enjoyed that because you sounded like Al Pacino rolling a blunt.
That's kind of
Al
funny.
Pacino's excellent.
Hoo-ha!
Son of a woman.
Give me a
Son of yeah. He's doing every movie.
That's funny.
You give me Al Pacino vibes. Do you think Al
I
Pacino
can take
vapes? Like, you think he smokes like that?
I have no proof one way or another, so I would not want to cast any aspersions on,
Yeah.
on Mr. Pacino.
You know what's funny? We were down at the stock exchange yesterday, and we're seeing all these characters. Like the people that are using these products are not the people that you would have expected. You know,
No.
big financial crowd. You know, kind of
100%.
some waspy individuals down there,
sure.
of course, and everyone from every background.
Every
It's
background.
universal. It's not, you know, the hippie stigma. I think anymore. It's literally finance bros. Are using
No,
this
100%.
stuff.
That's absolutely
It's
right. And
grandmas,
in fact,
you know, it's
one of the great reasons that folks are adopting this and loving this is it's rather difficult to do that, and you sure as hell can't light it up anywhere, indoors or in a place where people are going to notice it. Whereas you can take this out of your pocket at a concert, at a ball game, take a very discreet,
Super
small
discreet,
hit,
yeah.
and just you blow it and just put it right away.
You know what? Funny you mentioned that. One of my
So.
favorite moments is when I used
beautiful.
something similar to this.
Mhm.
Game 6, Yankees, Astros, ALCS,
Sure.
where we forced the Game 7. We didn't win the series, but I
I
had
remember.
fresh beer. I used a device, one of these devices with
Yep.
a friend I was with. It was a great one, very much similar to this one.
Mhm.
And at that moment, they tied the game, and I was on the jumbotron. All those things happened within like 30 seconds.
With this in your mouth?
Yeah, and
That's
I was
hysterical.
like, this is the most epic thing that's ever. I had a huge beard. My section was calling me Yankee Jesus.
That's
and I was
hysterical.
leading chants.
That's
And it
hysterical.
all happened in one moment. So
All
I
right,
look
I
upon this
can't-
fondly in that moment. So
All right, I have
Q
to.
Unit will be
Okay.
will take the
So
place.
you
I
were
had
on
no
the
intention.
Jumbotron.
Give me one. I got to
Pretty epic,
interject
epic
here
moment.
because
Yeah,
you
tell me.
just set me up, and I can't let this go by. So God's talking to Jesus.
Okay.
And Jesus has been working his ass off, and he's killing himself. God says, "You know what, son? Why don't you go down to Earth, take a vacation, relax a little while?" He says, "You know what, Dad? That's not a bad idea. I'm going to do that." Goes down to Earth. He's on the side of the road. He's hitchhiking. Truck driver picks him up. He says, "You need a ride, pal?" He says, "Yeah, I do." He says, "Come on in." Gets in, he's sitting there, they're riding along. Truck driver says, "You hungry?" Jesus says, "Yeah, I can eat." He says, "My wife makes a great tuna fish sandwich. Have a half." "Thank you very much." Takes a bite. He says, "You want something to drink?" He says, "Sure." "Something to wash it down with?" He says, "Water's in the cooler." He says, "Sure." "Thanks." Drinks it down. Get a little further down the road. Driver says, "You ever hear of a Q cup? Q unit?" Jesus says, "No, what's that?" And he describes to him what the device is. I'll cut the joke short for our purposes on camera here. And he says, but basically it's a great way to smoke marijuana. You get a fantastic high, it's fast, it's discreet, it's great. He says, "You want to try it?" Jesus says, "You know what? Oh, on vacation, what the hell? Why not?" Jesus takes a hit. Wow, it's pretty tasty. It's kind of another one. He says, "Yeah, go ahead, takes another one." Jesus, 2 hits, Jesus is flying. He's feeling good. He says to himself, "You know what? I'm going to tell this guy who I really am." He says to the driver, he says, "Thanks so much. I really enjoyed that." He says, "Great shit, huh?" He says, Jesus says, "Yeah, it really is." He says, I got to ask you something. Do you know who I am?" The driver says, "No, I just picked you up." Jesus says, "You don't know who I am?" He says, "No." He says, "I'm going to tell you. He says, I'm Jesus, the Son of God, your Lord and Savior. I'm Jesus." Truck driver looks at him and says, "I told you that Q cup was great shit." So there's the
Love
first
it.
Q cup joke.
I love
You
it.
led me in when you said when you mentioned Jesus.
Yankee
So,
Jesus, that's
Yankee
right.
Jesus, exactly.
Q Cup Jesus.
So Q cup Jesus.
Yankee just Q. There's many.
There you go.
Many spiritual
There you
forms
go.
that Q Cup takes.
Yeah. I can't now. In honesty, I kind of blew the punchline because I forgot to mention earlier. This is really good shit. And then when he comes back, he says, "I told you that was good shit."
Uh-huh.
But I haven't told that joke in a
Hey,
while.
that's what Jesus
so.
would probably do on his
But
vacation. Yeah, vacation.
well, you would hope so.
You're a great
You
joke
would hope
teller.
so.
You
So
had me.
a broadcast professional. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Well, when we had camera issues, if you recall, when we were vamping on that first day, first thing I broke into when we were trying to kill time was, so 2 guys walk into a bar. The first guy sits down. I didn't really have a joke. I was
You just go off.
I was just kidding. I was just ripping, exactly.
Instead of him
But,
saying this sucks.
Yeah. Right.
But it was fun. It was fun. There's nothing like production hijinks on the first day.
And when you get
everything
good
goes
talent
wrong.
in there, it doesn't matter if anything goes wrong.
Oh,
Teleprompter goes down.
that's
you
very
you
kind.
roll it, and it's still entertaining
Well,
nonetheless.
thank you.
So
I
happy to have you.
appreciate it.
Yeah, seriously.
I had a
I'm so
blast.
happy to have Jeff back in here when our iPhone
Thank
wasn't
you.
falling off the.
Return
When
Yes.
Matt was standing there and holding the iPhone saying, you're still on. We're sitting there like,
You're-
what the
you're
hell?
rolling.
Can somebody just stand there and hold the goddamn thing? We're still on. We are. I mean, yes, we are. Welcome back.
Gotta start somewhere.
Oh my goodness. No, but that was a lot of fun. But that's how most stations
Yeah.
start.
Yeah, that's how our network started. It was all started on that.
Piece it together,
That's
baby.
great.
Piece
That
it
was
together.
New York
great.
City had an idea to start a cannabis show.
Yeah.
Those are the
You're
good
a
times.
star.
And,
Yeah, here.
and look at you now.
You're a cannabis star. honey.
And look at you now. And now
Just
now
like
you're
that.
vaping CBD on air and having a great time.
Yeah, and look at you guys. I mean, so cannabis. I should ask before we wrap up.
Yeah.
Cannabis 2.0 coming up.
Mhm.
What's Q Cup got in store for the rollout of all these new things that we can expect in 2020 from the industry? Where are you guys going to find yourselves?
Well, like I said, we started with a huge first partner in Moxie.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't be happier than to be working with those guys. Great brand, great reputation, award-winning product. Our cups, quite frankly, they make whatever you've got the best it can be, but it's only as good as the product you put in it. Okay, you take a great paper and you put in shitty shit. It tastes like shit.
Yeah.
You know? Same thing with the Q cup. If you put in bad product, it's only going to taste as good as it can taste.
Right.
So being with a Moxie is fantastic for us. And that's what we're looking to do now. We're looking to expand out into other recreationally legal states, medicinal also, but obviously recreational is a much bigger market.
Yeah.
We're working with a group in Colorado called THC, the health centers, and we're hoping that they're going to be launching very soon as well. And in 2020, that's what we're going to look to do. We're going to look to find the best brands, the best product that we can get our products to. And again, we're hands off the plant. So when I say partner, it's a loosely used phrase, but partner with the best folks that are out there in the industry from state to state so that everybody who wants to use a Q cup can get a great experience.
Mhm.
The other side of it is we sell it on the website so that folks that are not in a legal state but still have access in one way or another, as has been going on since the beginning of the first pot plant that somebody figured out they could smoke.
Right. The Neolithic era.
Yeah, so that they have also a better, cleaner, potentially safer way to vape. And that's why these things are available on the website. And people
Did you
can
like it,
pre-fill a
Danny?
cup.
I did. I definitely did. It was a really easy and seamless experience, like Jeff showed us.
Thank you.
You could put it in your pocket, like you said.
Yep.
And yeah, it's definitely a safer alternative. The main thing to me that struck me is, one, I mean, it's a great device in itself, the way it works, but it's a way to totally avoid THC oil pens in which you're not always sure what's going on.
And that's the scary
there are a
thing.
lot of regulated brands that are solid that
Yeah.
have a good reputation, but at the end of the day, it goes through so many third-party suppliers, thickening agents, coiling devices, which I know you guys have proprietary tech that your coil actually is also a safer alternative to
That's
traditional ones.
yeah.
This way you can just
Yeah, I
actually
still
vape
haven't
the
found a
concentrate.
vape that's better than this.
Yeah,
Like, so
and,
far.
and it's just concentrated. It's
Yeah.
not, you're not worried about all those other things, and that's the main thing to me is
Yeah.
you can assure your safety.
Yeah, and again, for us,
You're
and
safe, Danny,
we've
you're
had,
safe.
I need to assure my safety.
That's-
I worry.
I like that hand on the heart.
Yeah, my
that
hand.
was beautiful.
When you guys were talking
that was
about
sincere.
the
That was
harsh
wonderful.
vapes before, I noticed like at one point my hand just gravitated towards my heart.
I thought put it
I
there.
thought put it that. Yeah,
I did.
But I was
Go
like
ahead.
protecting my capillaries, so this
Right.
way they can
No,
live on.
that's- Yeah, there you go. No, but that's what we've been working on for years.
A little bit
is-
of a hardy testimonial there.
Hardy
And
testimonial.
I
Pun game is
appreciate it. I appreciate it very much. No, one of the things that we've worked on as a company for years, and I told you this, is working on safer technology. And we've had 13 patents granted in the U.S. We've had some granted in Canada, and we're now applying for international patents on some of these as well. So that's what we look to do. We look to bring better, healthier, safer products. Look, is vaping ever going to be 100% safe? I doubt it. It's a foreign substance that we're putting into our lungs.
Yeah.
Can it be safer?
And I love it.
Well, and most people
a
that
clown.
enjoy it do love it. No more CBD for you today. You're cut off, lady. But what we can do is make it as safe as we possibly can, and that's our goal, and that's what we try to do. And hopefully this is the next step for dabbers to be able to have a safer way to do it. And if you've ever dabbed off of a metal coil, and I won't mention any of the brands out there because I'll take the high road.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that one.
See the pun
I'm
spread.
taking. Wait, I should do that again. Wait a second, because I'll take the high road, or the high road, because I don't know which camera I'm looking into at this point. So that way, I gave you 2 shots of that one. So feel free to edit that however you'd like. But no, I don't like to say anything bad about anybody
Taking
else.
this away from you.
And I only took one CBD.
What am I
hit
gonna
today.
do with you
Somebody
guys?
over here has had more. But no, if you've ever looked at the metal coil after dabbing on it,
It's disgusting.
disgusting.
Awful.
Oh
It's got
my
the residue
God.
buildup and
It looks like charcoal.
Uh-huh.
It's vile. And to try and clean it, good luck. And what you wind up doing is you throw it away out of disgust.
You can
Ours.
actually keep these though. Like you don't actually have to throw them away. You can clean them.
Oh, you can. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
clean them. You can reuse them.
Yeah.
the
But
little
you know,
cups, yeah.
Yeah.
but you know, I'll
You can
take
steam
this.
it and
I'll
clean
take
it
this.
with
Yeah,
some
whatever.
natural
They
soap.
sell something on QVC, I think. You know,
Yeah, shake it
like
off.
this. Exactly.
I
Yeah.
want to see
Um,
these products on QVC. That'll be the day,
So do I.
right?
And that should happen. We just don't know when yet. But if you take a look at this cup,
Yeah, I
we
feel
took-
like we're on QVC.
we took 6 hits out of this. And there's still, what, a third left of what was
That's-
originally in there?
Mhm.
Like I
That's
told you, 8 to
incredible.
10 hits. And look how nice and golden brown it is, by the way. It's not black, it's not charcoaly, it's not disgusting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
It
oil
looks
has
like
not
something.
changed
No, it looks
since
like something you still want to hit.
yeah, absolutely.
And I'm sure you do. But anyway, going back to,
Because I'm the breed.
I need a drummer. I need a rim shot.
These hi-hats. The
Give me
hi-hats.
something.
Hitting,
The
Give
yeah.
me something. The hi.
Yeah.
Hey, I like that. The hi
I'm a
hat.
music guy,
I'll
too.
take the high road and you hit the hi
I'll hit
hat.
the hi-hat.
This is one
Yeah,
high
that's
show.
what I'm
Sounds like a new
All
show.
right. And there are your highlights for this show. Wow, how many are we gonna? We should
Yeah.
stop there.
Don't get her started.
Yeah,
This is
now
a
we're just
common
beating a
theme.
dead horse.
Oh.
And which brings us back to the Godfather. So we've
I'll
been
take
full
the high
circle.
horse.
So now we've been full circle, and that's about
I just want
that.
to see another impersonation.
Another impersonation. I can I'll give you some Elvis.
Some Elvis. You're one of those guys that show up to the Elvis conference.
Okay.
Fully-
that no,
fully
that no,
suited
that,
up,
that,
yeah.
that I don't. Do. No, that I don't do. But take a little water for this one.
Yeah.
How many Q Cup hits does it take you to get to an
To an
impersonation?
Elvis impersonation. Yeah.
None. I love it. I'm a born entertainer. I enjoy this. I'm having fun with you guys today.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
This is a blast for me.
2, 3.
Three hits. I know what you're doing. The Tootsie,
The Tootsie Pop, yeah.
Very good.
That's one of the best commercials.
That's the
ever.
owl. That's, I forget what the owl. Did the owl have a name?
I don't know if you did.
Was it Woodsy? Woodsy the
We're gonna
owl.
say that it was.
Well, let's go with that.
I like that.
Let's go with it. Woodsy
How
the
many-
owl.
Well, no,
how
remember
many
Woodsy the
hits
Owl?
does it take to get
To,
What do you remember Woodsy
to
the
get to
Owl?
finish a Q cup.
Yeah, right.
1,
8
2.
to 10.
We're gonna be here a
Yeah.
while.
Actually, I like that.
Okay.
It's a nice little dose like that. Also, because I think people can, at certain points, you might overdo it a little bit if you got this
Right.
big, massive tube of oil. It's nice that it actually cuts
Yeah,
yourself
it's like
off.
more enjoyable.
Yeah, it's
Well, but the other thing is,
it's a serving
don't
size.
forget the potency in this thing is far superior to that of an oil pen. I mean, if this were THC and I took 2 hits on
I
this,
wish it was.
I would be.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Zonked.
Having said that, you could hit an oil pen 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 times and not get to the same place.
Yeah, one of our hosts, Alex, he says he doesn't even feel them really when he hits
That's.
them.
I'm personally I'm a lightweight.
Way to shout out Alex.
Yeah, what
but
else?
there you go.
AZ.
Yo yo.
Jeff Holman.
Jeff
Man,
Hol-
the myth, the
JH in
legend.
the house. But anyway. But no, the potency
So
is such
funny.
a difference.
I think we should just give you your own show here.
Oh my
Weasley,
goodness.
good.
Will set me up remote. Coming to you live from North Miami Beach. No,
We'll
Yeah,
voice
we
track him
actually do
from,
that.
from the
There
You
beach.
can
Yeah.
get a radio show.
voice track me from. I'll go out on the boat and get people. Get
Well, if you're
people
on the
high.
boat, yeah, I'll-
Get people high on the boat. That'd be a fun.
I'm gonna go on that
high in
boat.
the
You
boat.
actually, you
You
guys
guys
should.
could show
You know
here.
what? You guys should come down. We'll go out on the water. I'll drive. I won't touch a thing, and you guys can do a remote show from Haulover Sandbar.
Well, you heard it's
How's
on
that?
air.
How's
it's
that?
locked in right
You've
here.
been invited. I will take you
just
guys
have to
out.
Talk to the boss.
I'll be happy to take you guys out. We have something called a sandbar. I don't know if you know what that is.
I do notice that.
But okay, but I'll explain it for
Please
those who
do, please
don't.
do.
Basically, you can take your boat or your jet ski, kayak, whatever you're on, and in the middle of the intracoastal waterway is this huge area where it's only 2 to 3 feet deep.
So I'm looking at kayak.com.
Okay? I have the kayaks. I got you covered. I have the toys.
And
I
you're
have the
covering the
toys.
flight too?
We'll talk to Matt about that, and we'll get you down there. Business expense.
Yeah.
That's correct. That's what that is. But let's get you down there. We'll go out there. They have food trucks on the water, essentially. They got food houseboats, and there's hundreds of boats, and people are partying and dancing and just having a great time. And a lot of them are definitely using Q cups or some other derivative thereof, because, well, you can just smell it as you go by.
Yeah, cucumbers will be
Um,
plentiful.
And
That sounds like a
you
sweet
guys can
trip.
go. You guys can go from boat to boat. and have people, sample a Q cup and
Okay.
have a grand old time.
This is a great road show. Yeah,
Yeah,
I like this idea.
So what I'm going to recommend is let's try and get this on calendar for like April, May when it gets nice and warm.
Amazing.
Like 80, 85. So that's
We're
nice
gonna
and
book the
warm out
flight.
there. Get Matt, book in advance. That we'll be able to slip that expense through accounting a little easier. That's and that's it.
Oh
And
wow.
we'll see. Maybe we can sponsor this thing. Maybe we can get you down there.
Maybe we can sponsor the thing.
You never know.
Well, look at
we're,
that.
We're one of your sponsors. You know that.
I love
Yeah,
you
the
guys
Q Cup.
so
you
much.
love them too. You're always giving us a
absolutely in
shout
the
out.
Sparkz family. Yeah.
We
Yeah, you're
appreciate
Well, that's
it.
so
We
cool.
appreciate
Thank you
you
for
so
that
much.
invite.
My
Yeah.
pleasure. My
Really,
pleasure.
really
Love to have you
gracious.
down
We're
there.
gonna take
Seriously,
you up
love
on
to
that
have you down
invite.
there. Yeah, I'd love to have you down there.
Yeah, and we
It'd be a
can
lot
hit
of
the
fun.
road and see what
We'll
attitudes
talk
and
about
vibes
it.
are like in Florida.
Be a
Yeah.
lot. I'll tell you this. I've seen you on the street in New York.
Oh, you've seen our man on the street
Of
segment.
course I have. And
we're
sometimes it
going
works
down to
well,
Miami.
and sometimes they keep a walking.
Yeah.
We'll have a captive audience in the middle of the intracoastal of people who are just there to party and probably real happy to be on camera. So, and it'll be a treat for you viewers because it's mostly bikini-clad folks, and we're in
He's
Miami.
advertising with the girls
We're-
gone
we're-
wild.
We're in Miami.
Funny as I turn
No,
my
but
head
it's-
to my
but it's-
home
it's-
and crew.
Yeah,
It's
everybody's
the
like,
truth.
I'm in.
It's the truth. Then you
Some
got and you got
Like,
your
Subscribe.
and for you ladies, you got your jet ski bodybuilder dudes out there also. Everybody's well represented.
Ladies.
And and
I need a
it's
tan.
fun stuff. That's a good idea.
Yeah, Jen was
Come
literally
out- you'll have to come out a few days early.
looking out the window behind our production studio with a little 8x8 frame of sun that was coming in.
Yeah.
trying to soak up as much as she
well,
could.
You're a
So
Cali
she's
girl.
yearning for the beach.
Oh,
Yeah.
A Cali
Oh my
girl here in the
God.
coldest day of the year in New York. I
So
understand.
rough.
I'm feeding-
Awful. Awful.
I
I'm
walked my
literally
dog this
feeding
morning.
for
My
the good sun.
fingertips almost fell off.
I am out of antifreeze. I'm done. My blood is thin. I'm walking around. I got gloves, a scarf, the overcoat, and the earmuffs.
But
I
doesn't
can't take it.
cannabis
It's not
make
for
it
me.
so
Take
much
us- take
better
us to Florida.
with CBD, like when
They-
it's bad weather.
They say that. I mean,
I think it
I
is.
couldn't tell you.
Sometimes,
But,
I feel like it can enhance the your senses and your
Mhm.
sensitivities to things.
Yep.
So it can make me more chill, but ultimately maybe more cold because I feel more.
It does make you
Acutely,
more. Yeah, it does
you
make
know
you
what I mean?
sense. It gives you heightened senses.
Exactly.
There's no question about that. But I don't know. That's an
But-
interesting experiment.
Yeah.
3 or 4 hits
We
of
might have to
CBD and then
conduct
go out to the cold.
Jen, lead.
Do
give
I
me
do I
take
feel
on that
hotter
one.
or colder after a few CBD hits
Yeah.
when it's 21 and counting, which is minus something
I feel
Celsius?
warmer.
Could that be another use case, right? Yeah. CBD
feel warmer after a few
raises
sips of
body
CBD.
temperature. Yeah.
Okay,
If-
so
if
we got to
that's
hit the
case.
Alaska market, is what you're telling me. So it'll be
I'm not-
a huge success in,
I'm not
in
doing any
Alaska.
testing in the Alaska market.
Do you guys think the cold
Google.
weather is good for your body?
Think that the
Because,
cold
like-
weather is good for your
Yeah,
body?
because like cryotherapy is like you basically sit in that.
Perhaps. I
you
mean,
know?
not
Right.
not
Take
the
your body to
city
different
cold
temperatures.
weather. This is
Okay,
like
so here's how I'm going to go with that one. If you give me a choice today, live to 85 in the sun, on my jet ski, the boat, the kayaks, the outdoor sports, top down, all
Right.
of that, or 90, freezing my rear off here,
yeah.
based on my tone, which way do you think I'm going?
I'll take a
on that
bigger
one?
discrepancy.
What do you
I'll live
think?
80 in the sun
Right.
instead of like
yeah,
100 in the
yeah.
cold. I mean, that's
Yeah,
miserable.
I just couldn't take it.
Quality of life.
I am a self-proclaimed weather wimp. That's
I'm
it.
with you.
I've had it.
I'm with
I've
you.
had it.
It's
That's
starting to
my
affect
my
me
dad's
here,
phrase.
actually.
Shout out to my dad. Love you, Dad.
Weather wimp. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
that's
starts to affect
that
me
was
under
his.
the weather.
Yeah. So it was
Yeah.
too much for me.
Now, I'm a born and raised New Yorker, and every winter I'm
It's
like, why do
brutal.
I love my city so much? And then every winter I ask myself, why the hell do I live here?
It's brutal.
It's freaking brutal.
It
really
The
is.
snow is not a white Christmas. It's an M15
Oh,
bus
come
fume
on.
Christmas.
It
It's black
hurts.
sleet. It's
It-
not.
Okay, so
It's
I'm
not
gonna-
all
Can
bad,
we
but
take our show
we,
on the road?
yeah, we
That's
need to
what
get
you
to
should
Florida.
do. Just
We need to
only
get
hit
to
In the warm weather.
only hit warm weather states. So I'll share one with you that I do, and I've been doing this since I was a kid growing up here. Is I literally took a hairdryer this morning and put them into my shoes before I put my shoes on.
Get that toasty.
That's smart.
Get
It's
so that my
shoes
feet would be
toasty.
nice and warm before I walked out the door, knowing that they were going to be freezing cold within the 2 blocks that I had to walk here.
That's a Brooklyn move.
So
right there.
that and I used to come home and put my feet on the radiator.
Yep, you got it.
I mean that's we grew up in an apartment. We had a radiator. I would walk in and then try not to burn them, but that's
Yeah.
what I would do. It's awful, awful.
What
Take
is-
the subway home.
Urban
Ugh.
maneuvers, yeah.
Ugh.
I mean, what's like the motivation for like New Yorkers to get into the cold? Like I always respected New Yorkers so much. It's like
And now
It's
you
like
don't.
hard-
Don't get me
hard
wrong.
workers. Like
I
what's the
love-
motivation? It's like money. You got to hustle. You got to get up. You got to fight the cold. Like and like that's like New York mentality. It's like that's what I think like Jay-Z said best. If you can make it anywhere, it's like New York. Like we love to hustle and like go out and make
Yeah,
money.
but sometimes too, like an end that's just we
I
need
love
it.
New
New
York.
York has no work-life balance.
It's no. I
It's
love
go,
New
go, go.
York. Yeah. I loved growing up here. I wouldn't have traded it for anything.
Same.
The biggest difference for me living in a warm weather climate, and you'll appreciate this, is when I'm not working, I have things to do. There's always something to do. It's nice to be outside.
Yeah.
Okay. Here, when I was done working and I had nothing to do, I just sat with a blanket around me and watched TV.
That's literally why I ask people. They say, "Oh, I'm such a winter person." I'm like, you like shutting your windows and huddling up by the fire and doing nothing?
Honestly,
versus being in a climate where
I
can do
didn't
things
even want to go
outside.
to the gym here because I didn't want to get sweated up and then have to walk back out into the cold. I'm serious. I felt it was awful.
It's too cold.
It's too damn cold.
I would do yoga in California.
No, I wound up buying some home equipment when I lived in Brooklyn before I moved to Florida. And in the winter, I would just make that suffice because I literally did not
Maybe
want to go to the
move our
gym.
show to California in April.
I'm not against it.
There you go.
I need some left coast in my life. I think.
There you go. There
I
you
think we
go.
should move the show to a warmer climate.
That's it. West Coast proud, right?
Well, because it's all legal there too. The cannabis, everything. It's such a
Well,
lifestyle.
It's a
you know?
very chill environment.
So chill.
But it's a huge change from New York. Growing up as a New Yorker, going out to
Right.
LA.
This is what I'm worried about.
That's a
And
tough
I've never
one.
actually. I've traveled. I've been all over Europe. I've been many places traveled, but here in America domestically, I haven't even been to California.
Yeah.
So I've heard from a lot of my New York friends that went to LA and went throughout Cali that they liked it there. It was a nice change of pace, but the people, they could not mesh with
No.
them. They were not real enough for them.
No, so going
And I'm
to
worried.
Florida, it's an easy transition
Yeah,
because
I love
basically
Florida.
That's
it's
just
just
New
a
Yorkers.
it's a bunch
We
of
just went south.
transplanted New Yorkers.
Yeah.
You go to a Met game. Well, you go
Rays
to
game.
you go to a Marlins game playing the Mets. There's more Met fans than there are Marlins fans.
Rays games.
And I'm sure the same,
Yankee
same
fans,
thing with the Yankees.
They drown out
Exactly.
the Rays fans.
Right. So we go. I take the kids every year, the wife and the kids, and we go and we watch the Mets. And we show up in Met garb.
Wow, my
With
uncle's like
if there's
diehard.
10,000 people, there's probably 7,000 Met fans. I mean, it's
I
unbelievable.
love dominating a house
It's-
like that
We're
on the
so
road.
Mets
So
fan
much
family.
fun.
Good
so
feeling.
much fun.
We got to go to
So
a
much
Mets
fun.
game. A
That'd be fun,
Sparkz
too.
Met game.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then I'll
There
take you
go.
guys to the Bronx to show you how baseball's played. Love the Mets. Love
There
the
you
Mets.
go.
But,
The Yankees are the Yankees. I'm a diehard Mets fan.
Arrogant
But the
Yankee
Yankees,
fan.
no, the
Again.
Yankees are the Yankees. I'll tell you the truth. I softened after 9/11, and I started rooting for even the New York teams that I didn't root for
we needed
before.
a championship.
That's
We were in.
We just
It was
were
Game
pretty
7
lucky.
against the
That was
Diamondbacks.
brutal.
We needed a win.
That was
so
brutal.
yeah, anything New York was
but
important. At that point.
at that point, I
With
grew up
you.
a Jet fan. I root for the Giants now too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's nice.
But Mets and Jets, Giants and Yankees is typically that.
Yeah,
That's typically how it goes.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that's it.
Yeah.
But
Where
but
in
again,
Brooklyn are you originally from? I should.
I grew up in Trump Village,
Mhm.
which is kind of between Brighton Beach and Coney Island. So that's
And
where I
your
went to Lincoln
family's
High
in
School.
Florida now? The whole family?
Yes, the whole family. Yeah, pretty much the whole family's in Florida now. I have an aunt and uncle still in Staten Island, but I got everybody else to come down. My grandmother was here already. I had an aunt and uncle here already, but my parents came down. My sister came down, and this is where we. Florida is where we built our lives.
I have to ask, Brooklyn origins, Brighton Beach, Coney Island,
Mhm.
a lot of good pizza out there. I
Yes.
constantly have debates about what the best pizza place is. It's obviously not in Manhattan, and I got a couple in mind.
Mhm.
What is your number one pizza spot out by you?
My number one is my local place. It's called Rocco's. Big shout out to
Rocco's.
Rocco's on Brighton Beach Avenue and Ocean Parkway. I still love you guys. Don't get to see you often anymore, but that's my favorite. A good argument could be made for Spumoni.
I thought you were going Spumoni
Most
or
people-
Totono's.
Most people go Spumoni.
Yeah.
For Sicilian, I would have to say Spumoni,
Mm.
but I'm more of a regular pizza guy, so I give the nod to Rocco's.
Rocco's it is.
Where
You
do
heard
you
it
go?
here first.
Where do you go?
I mean, obviously I'm not out there much, but I love Totono's when I'm
Sure.
there. Spumoni's my a good friend of mine. He's
Yeah.
a Russian guy, moved from Russia with his family. They grew up in that Coney Island area,
Right.
which is very home to a lot of Russian and Eastern
Yeah.
European immigrants, and they swear and die by Spumoni's.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
what up, Arseny?
yeah. Well,
Um,
Brighton Beach is now like completely dominated by the Russian population.
Yeah, yeah.
They really and they built
Do
it
you get
up
the
wonderfully.
munchies a lot, Joe?
No, not
From
really.
this Q unit? Like, I know it's small, but I mean, it's like a little microdose thing. But you eat a lot?
You're so cut off. No, I don't.
No?
No.
Like,
No,
how
but
many
if-
slices of pizza
if-
can you have
if-
after
if-
vaping the Q unit?
if you're going to smoke THC, it's going to have the same effect on you in terms of munchies and everything else.
Really?
Yeah.
So CBD, wait, you'll get CBD munchies?
No. I said if
Oh,
you're going to
THC.
put THC in
Right,
there.
right, right.
I mean, if you had been hitting THC, you wouldn't just be asking that question now. You'd
You'd
be
be-
running
you'd
around
already
looking
be-
for baked chips.
You have been eating, yeah.
So, so I think it's the same. It's
Is CBD
concentrated.
an appetite
It's-
simulator at all? Or?
I don't know. You know what? I really don't know the
Yeah, I'm
answer
not
to that
familiar with
question.
that.
Again, I'm a hands off the plant guy. I'm a tech guy.
Right.
So I am not and I'm happy freely to admit this, I'm not an expert
Yeah.
in exactly what they do. I will tell you, I use some of the products. I get some back pain from time to time from exercise. I use a CBD roll-on. And I find that it's great. I got a knee that tweaks out every once in a while. Put a CBD roll-on.
Yeah.
Works great. Within 5 minutes, I usually feel relief. Does it stimulate appetite? I have no idea. It's a great question.
But
Worth
it's
looking
interesting.
into, though.
It's also interesting that you're saying I'm hands off the plant.
Yeah.
Fresh off the investment forum we were at in the stock exchange yesterday.
Yeah.
There were a lot of the companies, especially the data-oriented companies that track all these cannabis companies and stocks, were talking about how the midstream companies are hands off the plant, and more devices like yourselves that can be given to retailers don't have the least burden on either side of handling the plant and then also actually running a retail store.
Yeah.
And she, a woman from Data Trek, I believe, was talking big time about
Liz, if I
it was Liz
correctly.
and Jessica.
And Jessica.
Yeah.
Oh, Jessica.
Jessica
That's
Rabe,
right. That's
I believe
right.
her name was.
Yeah.
Really,
knowledgeable.
really knowledgeable.
Both of them very knowledgeable.
Really knowledgeable. I was locked in taking notes, but your company falls right under that category.
We're on
that.
that. Yeah, we're on that ancillary fringe.
Exactly.
So for us, by staying hands off the plant at this point, we don't have to deal with a lot of the regulatory issues that we would otherwise have to. And I'm not looking to get handcuffed on bringing out any of our technology to people.
Right.
Just to be a hands on the plant company at this point.
Right.
If we ever do it, and we've explored it, we've talked about it because we are a public company. If we were to ever do it, it would not be dipping a toe. We would go full blast, full in. I would want us to own a grow, an extraction lab and a dispensary, and really be a seed to sale company. Short of that, we're hands off the plant.
Because it'd be cool to have this and then have like a pod or cup or anything in here,
Well,
That's cool.
yeah. Well, so
Yeah.
for example, this is coming out, I believe, next week in our stores.
What is this?
Which is a company called Bang. It's a crumble.
BHANG.
Yeah.
I know Bang. Yeah.
They're a CBD company.
Yeah.
And they are filling our cups, and we're going to be selling them in our stores and pretty shortly online. If Amazon allows it as a hemp product, we'll probably wind up selling it there. But if not, we'll have it at our website. I may as well take a plug here as we wrap it up.
Yeah.
At theqcup.com. Again, TheQcup.com. And please also check us out on Instagram at theqcup. And,
nice Instagram.
And that's it. Thank you. Thanks. I try to I take some interesting shots. I try to put them up.
You got it. Yeah. You miss 100%
It's fun
of the
stuff.
shots you don't take.
It's very well
Wayne
put.
Gretzky, Michael Scott.
So,
Very
so
well
we're going
put.
down to Florida. We're going to eat pizza. We're gonna.
Sounds good.
Yeah, a lot of things to look forward to.
All
Jeffrey
sounds
Holman,
good.
boxing analyst and commentator, Sinatra singer,
Yeah, Al Pacino impersonator.
Pacino Pesci impersonator,
Actor extraordinaire.
lawyer, actor, and now
Comedian.
entrepreneur in the space of
Of
CBD and
accessories.
cannabis. Yeah, so
Thank you
really
very
cool
much.
stuff
Thank
with
you
the
for all
Q Cup. Yeah, really awesome, safe alternative. Something that we all need to be safer alternative.
I got to correct you there because for regulatory purposes. No.
no,
It's,
you're right.
No,
You're legal mind.
It's fine, but I don't want people thinking. And I don't want to segue into something long here, but for example, the epidemic with Juul that we have with
No,
our
you're
kids,
right.
they thought they were safe.
Right, and the
And-
lawsuits come. Yeah,
And
you're
it's
right.
just, and it should not, none of this stuff should be portrayed as safe,
Yes, understood.
but we want to make it safer.
Right.
And that's our goal.
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
but
Yeah, anything
but-
that you want to say? Since we could edit this.
no,
I mean,
that's
Anything you want
really
to say
fun.
because we can edit.
That's very funny. No, I think this was a wonderful interview. It's great to be
It was
with
fun.
you again. It's great to be with you for the first time.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
I enjoyed the
Yeah,
interaction.
I feel like we should have
and,
brought some pizza in for you.
We really should have.
That would
Yeah,
be
next
good.
time we'll
Okay,
include the
yeah.
Q unit
Ne-
test with a pizza taste test.
Next
Yeah,
time, let's
appetite.
send somebody out to Rocco's.
We'll go to Rocco's,
And I'll
Pamoni's,
be-
Defadas,
oh my God,
and
bring it all
Totonos.
in, and we'll eat, and maybe we'll have some more Q Cup CBDs than we had today, and we'll see whether or not it gives us the munchies and how much pizza we can
I
kill.
feel like the oil
Fun to
suppresses the appetite,
Does it?
and then I feel like the flour makes me hungrier.
That's
Like
possible.
when I do like vapes or if I do like the oils or dabs, I don't get like hungry.
That's very
But
possible.
when I do like a joint or
Again,
a
I'm
blunt
not a
or a
flour
bong,
guy.
I get.
Oh,
like,
by
I
the
wanna
way,
eat all the chocolate and food I see.
thank you for saving me, Jen.
Oh yeah, and
Because
earlier our
This makes me look like less of an incapable boob.
we'll edit again, like to show that
because-
you did that. We're able to
Oh no no no!
rewind the
Oh,
footage.
No no no! Let the
do
world
camera
no
tricks.
no. It's okay. Part of being a well-rounded person is accepting your shortcomings, and that sure as hell is one of mine. I can live with it.
That's beautiful.
Jeff thought this was real cannabis
No clue.
flour.
No clue.
Hemp flour.
I
Well,
had no clue. It smells like it. And
Yes.
I think he's your producer is on his way down to the Apollo to get that hook that they used to use
Yeah, he's
to
kick
walk
him off
people
the
up.
stage, yeah. We try to
wrap this up.
we try to keep him
Let's-
at the very brink
Yeah,
of
that's what
freaking
we have.
out on
Let's
us.
give
So
him
we
a
done
break.
that successfully
That's
once
why we-
again.
That's why we have an hour show.
Ladies and
Let's give him a
gentlemen,
break.
Jeffrey Holman, man of
Thank you.
many, many
Yes,
things.
Jeff
Thank
Holman,
you so
the
much.
man.
Yeah, Q Cup guys, stay locked
The
in on them.
funniest guy ever.
Thank you again to
Yeah,
both of
shout
you.
out
I
to
truly
the
appreciate it.
Q
Great
Unit.
show.
Yeah,
thank you,
thank you.
Danny.
So of course it's all about the high-end accessories. I'm a huge fan of the Q Unit, of course the Q Cup. If you guys like dabbing on the go, I literally call it microdosing at its finest.
That's right.
Yeah,
You
I
coined
love it.
that. I loved it.
I coined that.
That's
So this is Can
Good
Watch,
stuff.
another great product to watch out for. Of course, you can head to their website. Danny, you enjoyed the
I
Q-Unit?
did guinea pig trying
Yeah.
it for the first time. Very, very enjoyable experience. So
Seriously.
just like a
Good stuff.
Keurig, you know.
Good stuff.
Love
Trade-
it.
Trademark. TM.
Yeah, patent pending. But thanks, guys. Watching Can Watch.
Thanks.
Jeffrey Holman, great guest.
Yep, you guys just check out Sparkz. I'm Jennifer Tapiero. Follow me on Instagram. It's at Jennifer Tapiero. I could totally use some more followers right now.
I'm Danny Brasco, and I will not shamelessly self-plug my social media.
Oh, go ahead and do it. Go ahead. Why not? It's your show.
Plug your
No.
at DBrasco91.
I just have too much pride, I guess.
And you guys can follow us at Sparkz Network. Subscribe to our YouTube channel down there. There's like a button where you can subscribe, and of course tell your friends about this.
At
Because we're the
DBrasco91.
#1 cannabis East Coast media empire.
That's an E. I'm not gang affiliated.
There you go. Look at that. Thank you so much.